Welcome to Cruzeiro do Sul, Acre, Brazil, and a quick look at some exciting mission work. Hi, I'm Mike Craiglaw. Cruzeiro do Sul is the westernmost city of Brazil and home to the oldest Baptist church in all of West Brazil. The work started way back in 1926 when Joe Brandon came up the Amazon and into the Juruá River to a little town named after the constellation Southern Cross, or Cruzeiro do Sul in Portuguese. For the first 40 years, the work struggled just to survive, but for the past 40 years, it has grown and spread out over the whole region. I've been privileged to have been part of both sides. My family arrived here in 1960. My call to the ministry happened right here in 1966. My life as a missionary started on the mission field under my dad. During seminary and college years, I continued to do mission work. My wife Beverly and I met during that period. Bev and I have been right here in Cruzeiro do Sul since 1971. Our 4 children were born here. 2 of them and their Brazilian spouses served with us at our home church, First Baptist. A bunch of our grandkids are Brazilians too. It's fun to work in one of the neatest mission fields in the world. Why? Because we get to serve in an urban setting and do pioneer jungle missions at the same time. Try to imagine starting your life calling in a place that went from a 1-Jeep town to a no parking space town. A town that grew from less than 10,000 to 100,000. Then add to that a church that went from 10 to 1,000 in just over 30 years. Today, First Baptist has all those ministries that you would expect, like 6 regular services during the week, Sunday school, evangelism, discipleship, and prayer groups. We have a praise group and a band that is simply the best in town. We have a 400-acre camp with retreats all year for a number of age groups. Our Christian school, Colégio Cristão Cruzeiro, was started in 1990 and now has over 700 students. Then there's our theater group that performs at church and in schools all over town, and the list goes on. But there are some ministries that you might find a little surprising for such a remote place. The video you are watching was produced in our own studio, where we also produce a weekly half-hour program that is aired locally on one of the 4 major network outlets. We also have a daily radio broadcast. As unusual as that may seem, have you ever heard of a motorcycle helmet ministry? Well, we have one. We have a parking lot just for motorcycles and a team that cares for the hundreds of helmets while folks attend services. That is all a ton of fun, but as soon as I put my boat in the water and head upstream, the real excitement begins. In a matter of minutes, I'm in a different world and a totally different kind of mission field. I get to take the gospel to some of the most remote and primitive places on earth. For years, we have been reaching further and further into the jungles along the rivers, preaching the good news and planting churches. From day one, I've been taking and training Brazilians to do missions. Today we have 9 full-time missionaries and many weekend missionaries. There are now 20 churches in the region, and there are that many congregations that will be independent Baptist churches soon. The work at Taumaturgo is a good example of how this works. The town is 200 miles upriver. After having established a preaching point there over many years, we sent our first full-time missionary there in 1992. Last year, we organized the church with 212 charter members, with a crowd of 450 present in their brand new 3,000 square feet brick building that they built with their own money. They already support a missionary and have works in 3 villages. A door opener to many remote villages has been our medical mission projects. For the past 14 years, we have taken doctors, nurses, and dentists to care for the bodies and souls of the villagers. Our doctors diagnose and prescribe medicine. Our pharmacy gives them the medicine they need. Our dentists not only pull teeth when necessary, but restore teeth with our portable equipment. Villages like Foz do Breu on the Peruvian border have been dramatically transformed physically and spiritually. The Juruá River flows out of Peru into Brazil. When I first took the gospel in 1967 to the border region, there were no permanent settlements on the other side. Today there are some Indian villages, and we are already there sharing the good news. For now we are doing this through interpreters. That and all the cultural differences make this tough work. But the point is that we are out there getting the message to all people. For a long time, we have been systematically carrying Christ's love to every home on every river on the Upper Juruá. Last year, we set our sights on the thousands of miles and thousands of people on the Lower Juruá. By the end of 2011, we want to have preached in every house all the way to the Amazon. Well, I hope that you enjoyed our brief visit and hope to see you involved in